All right, you guys, welcome back. And for those of you just tuning in, I'm glad to see that you found a great show to listen to. And before I bring up our guest, I just want to make one quick show plug real quick. Like I was saying before, if you are listening to the show for the first time and you are in right now as a guest, please kindly just take about 60 to 90 seconds and set up a username and a password so that you can interact with us here on the show. You can get show updates, and you can find out everything about Proof Negative and the guests that we have on. So right now, we are going to be bringing you this gentleman here. You guys know him, obviously, from YouTube. He has thousands and thousands of subscribers. He's been bringing great news to the Patriot community online and has even leaked some stories out which has become mainstream. I want to bring Doc onto the show, and I also want to bring on from the international forecaster, Mr. Bob Chapman. So Doc's going to be filling in as my co-host, it seems, for right now. Just in case something happens to the phone line, we definitely have a capable body here to join us. And gentlemen, I want to thank both of you for coming on with us tonight.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, now first things first here, and I'm going to let Bob take the first salvo here. I do want to ask about the Copenhagen Treaty, and are you familiar with the Danish version of the Copenhagen Treaty, and how is this different than the traditional Copenhagen Treaty that they came up with?
Well, what they did was the wealthy European and American interests, they've changed the rules. And what they've done is had a secret or a group of secret meetings. And they've decided that there's going to be two different criteria for global warming, and those in the wealthy countries will who emit twice as much as the second and third world countries, they're going to get considerably more availability of carbon. So the carbon emission of 1.44 tons of carbon per person by 2050 will be allotted to the third world countries, and the first world countries will get like almost double that, which is 2.67 tons. They also talk about the end of the Kyoto Protocol, and that the nations which have emitted the bulk of the CO2 should make binding commitments to reduce greenhouse gases, while poorer nations previously were not compelled to act and will be now. It's a division, you know, the first class and the second class, I mean, essentially. And
here's my question, and if Doc wants in on this or Mr. Chapman, that's up to you. But I just find it very difficult to grasp that China is still considered a developing nation.
Yeah, I do too. And
how do you have the world's #1 economy and you're still developing?
You know, the whole thing is a scam. There is no
obviously. I mean, Al Gore didn't work this hard to become the world's first trillionaire for nothing.
Well, not only that, he's going to get his statuette from the Academy Awards taken away from him.
I'd like to say for a minute first, Mr. Chapman, I've really admired you for a long time. I really consider you to be a great American hero. And your insights on things have really clarified a lot of things for me. And I'd like you to explain to the people exactly how much this is going to mean as far as a loss of their income. The average person makes about $2,000 a month. Just exactly how much of that income is going to be taken from them, in your estimation, from this treaty?
Well, the wealthy countries are going to contribute money, tax, so that that money can be redistributed to the poorer countries. It's like each according to his ability and each according to his means. A very famous communist slogan during the many years of Soviet domination in Russia. And this is nothing more than a redistribution of wealth. And
right.
It's right in your face. They don't care. The International Energy Agency estimated that non-OECD countries will require 197 billion of additional investment annually for carbon reduction by 2020. And so that's about 200 billion a year. And the emissions, curbing of emissions and adaptation of the developed world would contribute 10 billion in addition annually, or 100 billion a year. So you're looking at 300 billion a year, and it grows exponentially. And of course, the publications like the New York Times thinks this is wonderful, but then again, they've been on the wrong side of most things for the 50 years that I've been involved. One of the things that they're going to do here, and this is a little insight into the future. First of all, any agreement that's signed by the United States at this meeting, whether it's a treaty or whatever it is, has to be approved by the Senate and the House, and it won't be approved. And the administration has every intention of running this situation, which they don't like, so they're going to do it anyway. And they're going to use the EPA to do that. We have a climate czar. If you weren't aware of that, we have lots of czars. We have
right.
foreign names for American people, which I think is inappropriate. And Carol Browner has a really interesting background. She was with the EPA under Clinton and was a member of the Commission for a Sustainable World Society at the Socialist International, which is a umbrella network for 170 social Democrat and Socialist and Labor parties in 55 countries. She's called for global governance, which means one world government, and asserts rich countries must shrink their economies to address climate change. And in the 1970s, and I remember her quite well because I've been at this 50 years and I know all the players, she worked for the Citizens Action, which was founded by Steve Max and Heather Booth, both who were with and ran the Students for a Democratic Society. It was called the SDS. And they split off into the Weatherman Terrorist Group, which did a lot of bad things. And so this woman is a hardcore revolutionary Marxist.
So this is another connection to the Weatherman Terrorist Group, along with Bill Ayers and the rest of them. So
that's right. And you know, this is how they're going to sidestep this. Even if it's signed and the Senate and the House kick it out, they're going to do it anyway. And even if cap and trade is killed, they're going to do it anyway. And the only way to stop this is, number one, through Congress. If it doesn't work, America will have to go to revolution.
Oh, I agree 100% there, no doubt. Every day I tell people that's exactly what they need to be ready for, and they or face something akin to what Stalin did to the Ukraine.
Right, and let me interject here because I did have the time today with listening to Lord Monckton speak in Copenhagen. He called into the Alex Jones show today, and he was giving us the Danish version of the New World Order bill, which I'm going to call it what it is. I mean, there's no reason to call it global warming because Nothing is going to be solved with global warming or global cooling or global stagnation or whatever with temperature by giving your money to a World Bank. Am I right on that, Mr. Chapman?
Absolutely, and it's interesting, they're switching from UN control of this issue to the World Bank, and the reason they're doing that is the money will flow into the World Bank and they'll steal half of it.